Yes, guys, welcome back to another episode of Helpings, man. Smash the likes up. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel as well if you're new. Hopefully, you guys are all doing well, man. Better than me this morning, chat, bro. I woke up with my head was hot, chat, this morning. Yeah, my head was, I was fucking fuming this morning. I woke up, right? First of all, I was woke up early, yeah. So obviously, I didn't get my. I don't know if I told you this before, right? But I need 9 hours sleep, bro. If I don't sleep for 9 hours, I'm cooked. Yeah. Anyway, I didn't get my 9 hours, yeah, because the sun was going through the window and it woke me up. So I was pissed off anyway.
Bastard
and then
son.
the first thing that I remembered, the first thing that I thought about was Reinders not going to the corner flag. And I was just like fucking fuming, bro. And I was rattled and I just pure pissed off. And I needed to vent and I needed to rage. So I raged on Twitter, which always goes down well. You know what I mean? I'll fucking get people.
You need like a rage room at home, maybe.
I do need a rage room. You know what I mean? I'll just come on here. You know what I mean? And do it on here. For some reason, when you type words on Twitter, it pisses everybody off.
Yeah.
I've noticed this.
Imagine.
I mean, I've been on Twitter a long time, and I've noticed that whenever you put something slightly negative on Twitter, you're always going to piss someone off. But, bro, I was raging,
or positive, man. To be fair, you'll piss anyone off on
Well,
Twitter,
that's just Twitter for you, isn't it? That's why it's funny. That's why it's a hilarious app. You know what I mean? You never take the app too seriously, man. But, yeah, I was just fuming, man. You know what I mean? Probably unjustified.
Yeah, probably. I've just seen it now. Like Nico G catching some hate for no reason.
Yeah, that was harsh, man. That was harsh on Nico. The thing is, as well, I like Nico G.
and yet he's still victim.
The thing is, yeah, when your head's hot, anyone catches the smoke. You know what I mean? Collateral damage. It's friendly fire. You know, he played on what? You played on Call of Duty. You played hardcore. You know what I mean? And he's just like, you know, friendly fire. It is what it is. And yeah, to be honest, that was a bit of a harsh tweet. You know what I mean? I would delete it, but when you delete tweets, people then say you said stuff that you didn't actually say. So
yeah, you got to firm it now. You've got
to firm it. I've noticed. I learned that a few years ago when I tweeted something, right? And then I thought I probably shouldn't have said that, so I deleted it. And then people started saying that I said something even worse, and I was like, no, I didn't. And then I couldn't prove what I said because I deleted the tweet. So I was like, I have a no delete tweet policy now. But anyway, it is what it is. Smash the likes up. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel as well. If you need Manchester City get a 1-1 draw against Arsenal, we couldn't quite hold on. It was a top effort from the lads, man. You have to say that first of all. Like, they put everything out there. We played on Thursday. Only had 2 days rest. We've had to travel down to London. Arsenal have had an extra 2 days. They've had a better pre-season than us. And for us to put that effort of performance in there, I thought was top class. And that's another reason why I'm so pissed off and so gutted about it, man. You know what I mean? Because we did put such effort into the game. And, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like some City fans are being proper weird. And they're saying, like, why are you gutted? It was a great point. I'm like, what do you mean, why am I gutted? We conceded a 92nd minute equaliser. Of course I'm fucking gutted. I'm wounded. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? Let me be gutted. You know what I mean? It can be a good point, and I can still be gutted at the same time, man. So,
yeah, of course.
Yeah, what's your thoughts on it anyway, mate?
Yeah. So I'm similar to you in like feeling. I'm not going to say I'm like angry or fuming. I think the term is more like annoyed or gutted or disappointed because of what happened in the game. Like, I think we all thought beforehand like we were probably going to lose. I did predict a draw, but in my head I did properly think that we're obviously not the favourites. Arsenal are the favourites to win. But I thought, you know, given the context of the week that we've had, given the context of the really poor starts that we had, and the available players, I was really impressed overall with the performance. It was a very different way of playing. It's not going to be a long-term thing. Like, Pep confirmed that he doesn't want to play like this long-term. Like, it was just sort of like a needs-must sort of thing, and the context, as I say, of like fatigue and whatnot. But the fact that we were able to play like that for me is a really nice bonus. My sound's low, is it?
No, you're fine.
Oh, okay.
Everyone's saying no.
Everyone's saying that I'm low.
Sound fine to me.
Okay. I can't turn my mic up anymore. I'm at 100%. Sorry, guys. I hope that's fine. What was I saying? Oh yeah. Pep doesn't really want to play like that necessarily. again, he confirmed that. We know that players like Rodri don't want to play like that, but it was just sort of like a circumstance thing. We're not going to play like that long term. It was just the circumstances that force us into that situation. Very odd idea that's coming out. I think this is just copium that's coming out that, Arsenal Arteta forced Pep to play really defensive football, and we changed our out of possession setup from kickoff. So this was a plan. Now, whether it was to be as defensive as that, maybe that's a conversation. But the idea that Arteta and Arsenal forced Pep to be defensive is false, because Pep clearly had the aim of doing that in any event. So it was clearly by design. It very nearly worked. I don't want to see it long term because it doesn't benefit the vast majority of the players. It benefits a few, like Haaland, for example. It would benefit Marmoush. The vast majority don't benefit from it, though. We know Pep doesn't want to play the style of football either. But it very nearly got us a really hard-fought win, and it was just so good to see off-ball work as well, because that's been our main issue this season. I know how good Foden is off-ball, but he was like winning the second ball battle against Rice and Moreno and Zubimendi, him and Reinders. That was insane in that first half in particular. Doku kept winning the ball back, and he was a fantastic worker off-ball. I thought both Kusanov and Nunes looked really, the caveat that of saying Arsenal's left side didn't exist, but they still looked really good defensively. O'Reilly had an amazing performance against Madueke, who was their only real threat, and then Saka in the second half. That was fantastic. So I was really happy with basically every single player. And it's a different approach, but as I tweeted, they proved me wrong that I didn't think this team were able to play like this, to be honest. I didn't think they had the personnel for it. To be fair, we did change the structure, but either way, they played in a manner that I didn't think we were able to do at this stage in our development. So really, really impressed.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that's one of the main positives from yesterday is that, we've not seen City fight like that for a long time. You know what I mean? If we think about what the words that people use when describing City over the last 14 months: weak, mentality not there, spineless, vulnerable, all this kind of shit. Yeah, like bad words really when you think about it, because that for me should be like every team should have that. Every team should have fight. Every team should have passion. And we've seen that yesterday. And it's funny as well because Pep Guardiola said after the game that he's not asked about the results at the moment. What he wants to be seeing from the team is that fight, is the passion, and we definitely saw that. And we've not seen City play like that against a decent side, and in a long time. I don't even know if we properly saw that in the 4-peat year, because obviously in the 4-peat year we didn't play. We only won 3 games against the top 6 sides. Remember, chat, in the 4-peat year. This is a 2-year problem we've got against the big teams. In our record against the top 6 is poor. But yesterday we showed that we can go to gaffs and we can fight. And something that I've said about the last 2 games in particular, and then yesterday as well, adding on that for a third, is I feel like Pep is managing the team and setting the team up for games on an individual game basis more than he's ever done so before. So what I mean by that is previously in years like the 4-peat year, the treble year, I feel like Pep almost just sent the players out and they just got the job done because they were that good, right? And now I feel like Pep is realising that, and I don't mean this as a negative thing, yeah, but I feel like because Pep's realising some of these players aren't as good as what we've had in the Centurions year and the treble year, he's having to really work game by game as a manager, which is what he should do, to set the team up in different ways and really adjust the tactical styles. I mean, if you look at how we played against United, look how we played against Napoli, look how we played yesterday, they're all completely different in terms of like the way that we, I don't know, the Napoli game, they had 10 men, so that was always going to be different. But I feel like we're seeing a different Manchester City every game, tactically, in the way that we're playing. And I feel like that's down to Pep. And that can only be a good thing. That can only be a good thing because obviously, as we saw last year, we just went out every single game doing the same thing. And even towards the end of the season, when we were actually playing all right and getting results, we were still playing the same way every game pretty much. We weren't really changing it up that much tactically. Whereas I feel like now Pep is really working every game, to how can I get the result today? Right? He knew that yesterday, if we went to Arsenal yesterday and played mega football, we wouldn't have won the game. Yeah, we would have lost again. We wouldn't have got a point, right? Because why? Because we're not ready to compete like that yet. The fitness levels are not there. in terms of like match fitness. We're not, we're not having no preseason. Rodri's not fully fit. I don't think we have the squad for it right now, with the injuries and that. So Pep's gone there and think like the only way that we can get a win is if we can sit back a little bit, absorb pressure and hit them on transition. And as you said, it very, very almost works. You know what I mean? We were 4 minutes away from, from doing that. And listen, there are still a lot of learnings to take from yesterday. Absolutely. Do you know what I mean? Absolutely. But there are certainly positives, and we have to take this week, because I think this week's been a good week for us, man. This has been a good week for us. We have to take this week for us now. We have to build on it. For me, I think you need to be winning the next 5 out of 5 to set us up nicely for that Liverpool game. If you think City are in a title race, there are some City fans that don't think we're in a title race. Cool, then you're not asked. 3 wins and 2 draws will probably do you if you just want the top 4. But if you do want to be in a title race, which I do think we need to go on a bit of a run now. But there are certainly positives there. I thought Rodri looked great. Haaland, again, he's probably loving life at the moment, playing in this transition side, isn't he? Because this is probably what he did a lot at Dortmund.
It is. No, yeah, definitely. It 100% is suited to his play style. And again, in bigger games like this, certainly away from home, I think it makes a lot of sense to do it, especially of the schedule that City have had. It's just a massive shame that Marmoush also wasn't available, because he would have been another player who would have thrived in this sort of environment. Like if the whole idea is to try to just use Haaland as an outlet, then you have Marmoush running off him because he's a player who loves to run into those big spaces, isn't he? So he'd be another player who would thrive in transition as he did when he was at Frankfurt. So when he comes back again because I know lots of people have been asking me, is this could this be like a new approach in like big away games in the Champions League? And I don't see why not, especially if like City get like a 1-0 lead in like the first leg or indeed like the second leg or whatever, and you just go more transitional and use your main threats, Hall and Marmoush. I think if Savio is able to get back up to match sharp, as he would be one of those direct players as well. So again, for me, and you touched on it, the best thing for me is that we've played the exact starting 11, 3 games in a row, but the setup and style has been different in every single game. That's what's been really interesting to me.
Yeah.
And we didn't really have that flexibility last season, as you say. So that's something that I'm really positive on. It's been this exact starting 11, 3 games in a row, but each performance has been really, really different, either in respect of like pressing structure or off-ball work or in possession work, whatever. It's been really interesting and good. I'm positive, and I'm happy-ish. 7 points from 9 from this week. I don't think many fans would have predicted we'd get 7 out of 9, to be fair.
Yeah, no, it's been a decent week. Well, like I say, if you are looking to win the title, you do need to go on a bit of a run now. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. I've looked at the fixtures, and they are 5 winnable games for City. Yeah. Looked at Liverpool's fixtures. They might drop they might drop 2 points in there because they go away to Chelsea. They play United at Anfield, which has been a tricky game for Liverpool sometimes in the past. There is a world where they drop 2 points, in which case when they come to the Etihad, will only, if that happens, will be 6 points behind them, and of course then we'll be in charge of our own destiny. We can win that game, of course, and then you're only 3 points behind. So 8 points looks big now, but there is a world where 5-6 games time that gap is only 3 points. That's a big if, of course, but the idea that we're out of the title race now is a bit silly because we're only 5 games in, and I've just illustrated there that anything can happen. We are still in charge of our own destiny. We can play Liverpool twice this season.
Yeah. No, that is facts. That is facts. Let's come to this chat and we'll have a look at what the chat is saying. Big Up Toll says, biggest issue in this small squad idea, Marmoush and Cherki out for months. Another 2 players with knocks versus Arsenal equals a lack of quality to compete. I don't think our squad is small, bro. If I'm being honest with you, I actually think it's a quality issue rather than a quantity issue. And again, that does sound like harsh, but I just think that's true. I think it's more of a quality issue. You know what I mean? Like, I thought Nunes played well yesterday, right? So I don't mean to like attack Nunes because I thought he actually done well yesterday. But you're bringing Nunes on as a right back. You know what I mean? Not ideal. So yeah, I don't think we do have. Do you think we've got a small squad? I don't.
Objectively, we have a squad that's still too big because we only just satisfy homegrown rules. So if anything, it's still slightly too big. We've got 4 goalkeepers.
Yeah. I don't think we've got a big. I don't think we've got a small squad, man. I think our squad is big. No. I just think that we need to improve the quality of the squad. Do you know what I'm saying? Because it's like we're speaking about it like in the lead up to this game. I actually think our spine in the team is fantastic. You know, you got Donnarumma, Gvardiol, Rodri, Foden, Haaland.
Yeah.
I mean, you won't find many better spines in world football than that. For me, it's when you go outside of that. You know what I mean? Left back, right back. You know, the 8 at the moment, you know, Reinders isn't playing particularly well. And then the wingers, like, you know, I mean, I think the drop off there is kind of mad, but the spine is unbelievable. Do you know what I'm saying? If we can keep, and that's why I say, if we can keep those guys fit and they all play, you know, they all getting themselves into decent form, you know what I mean? We'll have a good season. Like, what that means, will we win the league? Will we win the Champions League? Will we win the domestic? I don't know what that means, but we'll have a good season. You know, we're not going to be like last year when we win one game in 14. Yeah. But this is why I think when we get to the summer, yeah, we have to improve those areas out wide of the spine, improve the quality. Yeah. I mean, I think that's what we really, really need to be looking at doing, man.
Definitely. And let's be honest, the injuries haven't helped either because because Marmoush and Shirky were both out with injuries, weren't they? And we have other injuries as well. So I think that when those players return, those fears will lessen. Ari, this idea that we don't have a big squad or a big enough squad because there weren't enough offensive options off the bench against Arsenal. I think there was Savio who hasn't really played enough football yet, and there was Bob. Obviously, I don't think there was anyone else really. But our main options would have been, Marmoush and Shirky, and they are injured, and that's unfortunate because Marmoush in particular isn't an injury-prone player. You could also say Ait Nouri as well. Again, he's not an injury-prone player, but he's currently out for a little bit. I don't know what Shirky's injury record is. I feel like it's not that bad. But
Shirky's injury record is decent.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate that they sustained injuries all at the same time. I think that's all it is, really.
Yeah,
they're fine when they come back.
It will. It'll be fine. It'll be fine when it comes back. See what else you guys are saying. Diaz is really improving late. Yeah, Diaz has been all right, man. I can't lie. He's been decent in the last few matches. I still want to see next year Huzanov and Gvardiol at centre half. To be honest with you, but
I believe that's our highest ceiling defensive partnership.
Yeah. But credit where credit's due. Diaz has been decent recently. See what else you guys are saying. Yesterday, KDB's through balls to Haaland was missed, says Teal. See what else you guys are saying.
Can I just challenge that?
Yeah, sure.
Which moments did a player have the ball and they had like an easy through ball to Haaland though? Like we clearly set up to not really play with the ball yesterday. The only time there was a proper to me that I can remember, there were 2 opportunities. One was the Reinders ball, which was an assist, and then one was the Doku pass where Haaland should have squared to Foden. That should have been a goal as well. So the 2 instances where I can recall a through ball opportunity being presented to City, the through balls were fine. One resulted in a goal, as the second should have resulted in a goal had Haaland passed to Foden.
Yeah. No, I hear it, man. I hear it. See what else you guys...
I don't agree with that.
Yeah. Karl says Savio has been horrendous this season coming off the bench. I mean, it's early days, but he's not been great so far.
He'll start against Huddersfield. He's how much football has he played this season? Is it 20 minutes?
Not a lot. He's not match fit, is he? Yeah. He needs to get some match fitness before.
Exactly. And he's either come on in like garbage time where the match is already won, or he's being used as like a false 9 outlet against Arsenal, So let's be patient. He will start against Huddersfield. Hopefully he'll play well. And as I say, get that match fitness and sharpness back up.
Yeah, we need him to as well, man. We need him to get up there as well, man, because obviously, like, do you know what I mean? One injury to Foden, for example, and, we're going to be struggling there. So, and obviously Doku's playing well at the moment. So, we need competition. So hopefully Savio, does get into it. But it's early days on Savio. He's only just come back from his injury, innit? You know what I'm saying? So... We'll see what else you guys are saying. Benedict says, even if there was no space for the ball, KDB finds a pass anywhere, says Benedict.
No, not true, because we didn't have the ball in the right areas. That's false.
Yeah, going back to what you were saying before, actually, about the team setup and, Arsenal people saying that Arsenal pinned us back. I do think that, obviously, our game plan yesterday was definitely to sit back and absorb the pressure, right? I do feel like Arsenal pinned us in, and we weren't able to get on the ball. And I think they did a good job of stopping us from getting out and getting on possession. And I feel like, I don't know what you think. I don't know what you think about this, right? But I feel like if you're going to play that system, right, and obviously we can't because we don't have the personnel, but if you're going to play that system, I think you need like a proper scrapper, a proper fighter next to Rodri to help win the second balls. Like we had Reinders, who I didn't think played badly yesterday. I think he played all right yesterday, to be honest with you. It was okay. But I do think that when you're just clearing the ball and you're going long and all that kind of shit, and you're relying on second, but I do think that you instead of having a Reinders there, I do think you need like a fighter. I mean, like a Tonali, like a Bruno G, like someone like that who can win those second balls. So I just think that I don't think this is going to be something that we start doing long term, as you said yourself. And I think Pep kind of indicated that in the press conference, that don't expect City going to be playing like this all the time. But maybe that sort of like solidifies where I'm going with the window next year, in that I think we need like a Baleba, a Bruno Guimaraes type signing in that midfield rather than a Adam Wharton, rather than a passer. I think you need a fighter in there, bro. What do you think on that?
Yeah, no, definitely. That's something that I outlined in like my Donnarumma video, where I was trying to think of, how could City get the best out of Donnarumma, and one of the solutions was, to just become a more direct side, to become a more transitional side. But as I outlined, the problem with that is that we aren't built for winning second balls. I don't know what the data is now, but like before the Arsenal game, we were bottom of the second ball league table, so the squad isn't really built for doing that. That's why I was so impressed in that first half in particular, when Reinders and Foden seemed to be doing a lot of loose ball recoveries and winning a lot of second balls against their really strong midfield. So it was less so in the second half, but first half, that's why I was so surprised. But you are right. In an ideal world, you would have Bruno Guimaraes, Baleba, Paquetá, Bellingham, Rice, that sort of player, if you want to play like that. More like the midfield Arsenal have in theory, or how like Newcastle have with like Tonali and Bruno Guimaraes. As I say, Baleba's another one of those players. But we know
is Camavinga that type of player, because he might be available.
Well, he's definitely. He's probably more of a pure six than this sort of like hybrid player. I'm not saying that it wouldn't work, but he's not the sort of player who I'd be going for in that sense. I'd probably be going more for more of this hybrid midfield option rather than someone who is more of a pure defensive midfielder. But I guess it could work, yeah, definitely.
I just think because there are a lot of rumors saying that he's available and shit. So
isn't he also like? Is he? Did he start the season injured, or have I made that up? Am I thinking of someone else?
Yeah. He got a hamstring injury in the last season.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't think he's kicked a ball yet.
Yeah. That's.
But yeah, I just think that's so. The thing is, for me, it's like I feel like we're not a million miles away, right, from being a really good football team. But my problem, my question is, the miles that we are away, is it too much of a gap to make us compete and win anything this year? So what am I talking about here? I'm talking about the right back. Yeah, I mean, Huzanov, can we get away with playing Huzanov there for the entire season? Maybe. The wingers, yeah. This 8, Reinders hasn't started the season particularly great. The left back, what do we do there? Do we stick with Nico O'Reilly? Do we put Ait Nori in? It's like, you know what I mean? I feel like we've got a good team, but then we've won 2 games in 5, and I'm scratching my head. I'm scratching my bald head, going, why have we only won 2 games in 5 when you actually go through the team? Yeah, I know we had Trafford in goal for the first few games, right? But obviously, I don't think we would have beat Spurs even if we had Donnarumma in there, and Brighton again. He actually made some good saves. Why have we only won 2 games then when we've got Donnarumma, we've got Diaz, we've got Gavaggio, we've got Huzanov, Rodri's back in? That you know what I'm saying? Why have we only won 2 games? When I'm looking at the team, going, it's not a bad team. Why have we only won 2 out of 5?
Well, I mean, in isolation, the reason why we lost against Spurs is because we made silly errors and we weren't clinical enough. The reason why we lost against Brighton was because we couldn't cope when they went a bit more direct against us. I think it's chalk and cheese. I'm not sure if you can compare those matches. You can really compare them because we've already seen the structures changed massively. So I don't know how reasonable it is to compare like the Brighton game to
is that a
the
good
Arsenal
thing then?
Game
or a bad thing that we can't compare them, and we just going,
I think it's
just 2 weird matches that we just have to forget about, or is it more serious than that?
I think it's good because I think it shows evolution And I think it shows that if you want to change your fundamental defensive structure, you are not going to. It's very unlikely you're going to see success overnight, and it's going to take a fair few weeks, even months, before the team fully get acclimatized to it. I don't think it's as straightforward to go from what City were doing last season and the season before that and the season before that to what they've tried to implement for the majority of this season, which is totally different to that. I don't think that happens overnight. So I think that it's just one of those things where it will just get better ultimately as Pep figures things out and as the players figure things out as well. So I think it's just about time rather than anything else.
Yeah, no, I think it's about time. And as I keep saying, the question will be is by the time it clicks, will we be still in the race or not?
That's the question.
That's the big question. Do you know what I mean? Like, because I think at some point this season we're going to click and we're going to be a fucking serious team. I just think that even though I've just said like outside of our spine, it's not the greatest. I think if you stick with Huzanov at right back, right, Nico O'Reilly at left back, Reinders starts to find his form. All of a sudden, and Doku keeps on playing the way that's it. It's only the right wing thing that we don't know what's going on. I think at some point it's going to click and we're going to be a serious team. The question will be is, will we still be in the title race by then? Now, hopefully it clicks like in this next 5 games leading up to the Liverpool game. And I'm looking at these fixtures now, chat. I think we should be winning every single one, man, before this Liverpool game. Yeah, I'm not just talking Prem. I think we should be beating Monaco. I think we should be beating Villarreal. We should be beating Huddersfield. Yeah, and we should be beating Borussia Dortmund, mate. Yeah, I think we should be winning now every game up until that Liverpool game. I don't think there's any real reasons why we shouldn't be winning those football matches, especially when Rodri's playing. Do you know what I'm saying? So for me, this is why it is for me. It's like this next period before the Liverpool game is so important. It's like we got to win the games, man. Build this momentum. Yeah, I think by that point, I think we've got 7 matches. Oh no, 8 matches. I think we've got now in all competitions. Yeah, before the Liverpool game. If we win all those, which in my opinion I think you should be doing, yeah, that's what 12 games or 11 games unbeaten before we go to that Liverpool game, and that will set us up nicely. And we're at home. Yeah, and I'm telling you, if we can get in that game, even if Liverpool win all their games, right? If we get ourselves into a position where we beat Liverpool, yeah, we can put it back to 5 points. I think it's on. It's back on. You know what I mean? It's not off anyway, in my opinion. But, it's properly on at that point. But, at some point, we've got to put a run of wins together. You can't just do win, draw. Like, you got to win football matches. We know what it takes to win this league, mate. Yeah, we know what it takes. You can only afford to drop points in so many games. Yeah, we've already dropped points in 3 out of our first 5. So probably, yeah, historically, we can only drop points in 7 more matches. Yeah. Going off the historical averages. That's not a lot when you consider we've still got 30 odd matches to play. So we'll see, man. But yeah, listen, there's a lot of positives, man. I'm just so happy to see the players fight yesterday because I've not seen that in a long time, mate. I've not seen that in a long time. And the fight from the players, the passion from the players yesterday was great. They almost hung on at a difficult place. You know what I mean? We were 4 minutes away from getting a win against a team that hasn't lost against a Big Six side since May 2023. It's just, we've got to take the learnings, you know what I mean? And it is small margins. Like, you know what I mean? People, you can't just ignore the negatives as well. We spoke about the positive. You can't just ignore the negatives. You can't just ignore the fact that Reinders should 100% be going to the corner flag, that Savio probably should have done better in that situation, that Nico G should probably have done better in that situation, that Ake probably should have just took Martinelli out, you know what I mean, took the yellow card and just took a free kick. We had no pressure on the ball. Like you can't just ignore all them. Because if you ignore them, you're never going to improve. I don't know, man. It's weird. I feel like I'm
it's small details. There were at least 3 mistakes on the goal. Some more serious than others, but there was at least like 3. You could also even argue there's a refereeing situation there, but I'm not going to go into that. And we had a great chance to make it 2-0 as well, didn't we? As well, like Doku did amazingly well. He found Haaland in behind. Haaland just has to square it to Foden. He has a tap in. If he has an open net, I don't know if Haaland doesn't see him, in which case, like, use your eyes. But if you're going to shoot from there, you have to score every single time. And ultimately, he didn't. It was the wrong decision. So, yeah, just like small details. But I don't think there was like a fundamental It wasn't like the Brighton game where I felt that there was a fundamental structural problem with how we played. I felt the opposite against Arsenal. I felt the structure was there. That was all fine. It was just, again, little details that just let us down, sadly. But we know that we're not yet in our final form, and we know that it's yet to click, and it will take time, hopefully.
What do you make of Huzanov at right back so far? I know you wasn't a fan of it, but is he winning you over for the short term?
I think my position's still the same, to be honest. I'll just refresh that. My position is that I don't think he'll ever be an elite right back. I think he can absolutely be a competent right back. This is what I said in my analysis video. I wasn't concerned about him up against Trossard. I was very concerned about the concept of him up against Eze, but because Arteta didn't play a left-sided outlet, we just didn't see that, so that wasn't really a problem. And I still think that we need to get a right back in who can actually be that sort of player, because Kusanov isn't offering anything going forward. It's not his fault, but that's a reality. And if you think Kusanov can be our right back, that's fine, but I don't want to see you say that we need to bring in a right back in like the summer or whatever. If you think that like Kusanov is good enough to be our main choice, you shouldn't be looking for a first choice right back in the January or summer, if that's what you believe. If you believe that he's a right back who can win us a title, I still don't believe he is that sort of player. That's why I want a right back.
Yeah, no, I want a right back because I want a guy to play centre back, Huzanov. But I just think this season I would stick with Huzanov at right back because we don't have one. I think he's the best option at the moment out of the ones
again, I don't disagree that he can be a competent option there, but I do still think that we need to get a proper right back in. I don't think that he'll ever be elite there, and he is a centre back at the end of the day. And I'm still not happy with him playing a right back. I want him to be playing at centre back because that's his best position, because he's a centre back. And I don't think that we will win the title with Kusanov at right back. Certainly not in this shape anywhere, where the right back is expected to offer some offensive function. And again, it's not a failing of Kusanov. It's not his fault. But against Napoli in that first half, and whenever we rarely had possession against Arsenal, our main right-sided outlet was Kusanov, who was offering nothing. Again, that's not his fault. It's not a failing of him as a player. But that just goes to show that if we want to keep playing like that, we need a natural right back. And I think most City fans think we need a right back. If you don't and you back Kusanov to be our main right back, then go for it. I will disagree. I still think we need a right back. So my position hasn't changed, to be honest, now.
Can you imagine if we could get Livramento next summer and we could have Livramento, Huzanov, Gvardiol,
and then O'Reilly, Aït-Nouri option.
O'Reilly, Aït-Nouri as options at left back. That would be
that's naughty.
With Donnarumma behind, Rodri in front, providing he's still here.
We might be able to champ best defense in Europe again.
Yeah,
if that happens, that would be really good. That would be ideal.
That would be class.
Everyone knows Livramento is my dream signing. That'd be so good.
Yeah, that would be mega. That would be mega. Anyway, smash these likes up, chat. If you've not done so already, big up Toll says I'm talking in terms of quality. Half those squad players don't. Yeah. If you're talking quality, I agree. I think it's the quality in the squad, not the quantity. Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, I don't think we disagree with the quality argument. I think it was the quantity argument that we were struggling with.
Yeah. Nah, facts. Like when you're bringing on Nunes as a right back option, and I actually thought Nunes done all right yesterday. He obviously done that bozo error pass.
Again, like Nunes, him as well. I said in the summer, I'm not happy with him as my right back option. I don't think that we win the title with Nunes at right back, probably. But I thought he did well. He was shit going forwards because the 2 times he came forwards, he fell over. That was a bit annoying. But defensively, I can't remember him doing, and he had a lot of defensive work to do in that second half because Saka peeled off to that left side quite a lot. I can't remember Nunes actually making an error, to be fair to him, and I was expecting him to make an error. So that was nice.
He made one error when he passed when he did the shit pass.
Oh yeah, no, going forwards. Yeah, as I say, I wasn't impressed with him going forwards, but defensively, I can't remember him making an error.
No, it was the defensive pass.
Oh.
Do you remember when Diaz and Donnarumma got themselves into the shit?
Can't remember that then.
Nunes passed the ball back, and you know when Nunes does that thing when he passes the ball backwards and he doesn't pass it to anybody.
He just like underhits it.
Yeah, well, he did. He passed it, and he's sort of passing the ball. I don't know who he's passing the ball to. I don't know if he's trying to pass the ball. I think he's trying to pass the ball to Diaz, and he doesn't pass his. The passes are just a dead pass, and then Diaz and Donnarumma get themselves into a communication.
Oh no, I do remember that. Yeah. Oh yeah, and the one. Yes, I do remember.
In the end, Donnarumma just comes out and smacks the ball, which is good.
Diaz was like, "Come get it," and Donnarumma was like, "Are you not getting it?" Yeah, I do remember that. Yes.
Yeah. But if the pass was more direct to Diaz,
Mhm.
then that wouldn't have been a problem in the first place.
But defensively, again, like every single action he had to do was fine. Again, like crosses came in, he dealt with it.
I thought he was really good
right.
yesterday, man. I was quite
He
surprised
was.
to see some people cooking him, and I was like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, I mean, like Nunes."
I don't know
man,
why.
like-
Again, like it wasn't good enough going forwards, but yeah, defensively it was fine. But I'll repeat, I don't think he's good enough to be a right back for a team that wins the Premier League. Really, he can provide a good amount of offensive value. He can help City get into their 2-3 if they want to. But again, I don't think he's good enough to be our starting right back. This is why in the summer I wanted a right back, and I still want a right back.
Yeah. No,
Fine backup,
facts.
but not good enough for me to win the title.
Yeah. MCFC says, I don't understand this notion that you guys are so stuck. One position, right back, will not be the reason we don't win the league. I agree with that. I don't think the right back will be the reason why we don't win the league. It's a combination of that. The wingers maybe not being too good enough, players not being settled in. I don't think that's what you're saying, are you, Nobbins? You're not saying that if we would have had a right back, we'd win the league.
I don't really understand the comment because can we all agree that right back is City's biggest weakness? Surely.
Probably,
we can
yeah.
agree that if there's one position to improve, it's right back.
It is, but I don't think if we would have signed Livramento, that's the difference between us winning and not winning the league.
Livramento, I don't know if I'd agree. Because with Livramento, you can get Shirky into the side properly as well, and Foden. I don't know if I agree.
I feel like this season, if we have Livramento, I don't think that would be the difference between winning us the league or not. I mean, going forward, maybe, because I just feel like there's so much change.
I think it could be.
Think so?
I think there is a title-winning side in City squad if there's a proper right-back option. I do think that.
Okay.
I think.
Chat, what do you think? Let's see what the chat's saying. Chat, do you agree or no? If we had Livramento, you think we could win the league? Yes or no? Let us know in the chat.
I think we can. I'm not saying we would, definitely, but I think we would. Yeah, I think we could. Sorry, because the defense is sorted. The midfield options, you got Rodri, Foden, Shirky, Bob, Nico. Striker, you've obviously got Haaland. Attacking options, you got Doku, who's been great. You've got Marmoush. We've got Bob, who started the season really well. Or because you've got a proper right-sided outlet in Livramento now, that allows you to play Shirky technically right wing, and he just provides an overlap. So I think that it's not just about the individual quality of the player, it's about what they facilitate. It's not. It's like a domino effect for me.
Okay, interesting. Okay, interesting. Big up Chicken Wings says, has anyone noticed we lost all 5 games last season?
The 5 coming up.
No, I think he's on about. I think he's on about the ones that we just had, because we had Tottenham, we lost, Brighton, we lost, United, we lost, Arsenal, we lost.
Yeah.
And then what's the 5th one? Who do we play next? Burnley away, Burnley at home.
Yeah, Burnley went in the league.
Burnley went in the league.
I don't know.
Yeah, we lost the 4. I don't know what the 5th one was. What's the 5th one, Chicken Wing? We lost the 4. The 4 that we just had, we lost all of them. Karl, have you seen that stat, bro? We're actually 4 points up on last year in the corresponding games.
Yeah,
which is wild.
That's good. That's good. It's a massive difference maker from last season when we got battered, and deservedly so. Like, we were a couple minutes away from a really impressive win.
Yeah, people say Wolves, but we beat Wolves.
Yeah, it was the season before we lost against Wolves when Rodri was suspended.
Yeah, we beat Wolves last year. John Stone's last minute header, innit? So there's 4. We had 4, but no, I don't know where the 5th one's come from. Yeah. You got it wrong. Yeah. We beat Wolves. It was 4. Yeah. It was 4.
But the point still stands, though. It is a big difference. It is a big swing, as you say, an extra 4 points or whatever it was.
It's a huge swing, man. It's a huge swing. Yeah, facts. And imagine that if we would have just beat fucking Brighton. I don't even care about the Spurs game, because Spurs are Spurs, man. Yeah, we always get. But if we would have just beat Brighton away, man. Yeah, well, we were at 5, 6, 7 points up on last season.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been big, man. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Big up Paratosh, man, with a 25, says, for Liverpool, we have like Norwich, Marmoush, and possibly Cherky for extra options. I'm worried about Haaland playing this many games, though. That's probably why Pep took him off. I I actually said when Haaland come off, so I think that's a really, really bad decision. But maybe he's just maybe he's
Pep
injured
said,
or
didn't
maybe he
he,
was
that
knackered.
Pep said Haaland has to come off because he was
Oh,
tired.
did he?
Yeah, he was. I mean,
Fairs.
he's played however much football in the past 7 days. So yeah, I think he was. I don't think I've made that up. I'm pretty sure I saw something that Pep said that Haaland basically has to come off because he couldn't go on.
Yeah, I
'Cause
feel
he
like
gave
when he
such an
went
effort.
off, we just had like
We lost an
no
outlet.
out. I actually think then as well, we sort of like still had one a little bit with Doku because the guy fights, doesn't he? You know, he's a bit of a warrior. And then he took him off and put Sabio on. And at that point, it was just dead basically because
Yeah, the Doku one was weird. The Haaland one was fatigue or whatever. Unless Doku asked to come off, like he should have just kept him on because he was doing amazing work. Like he was doing like sort of Grealish level winning fouls and controlling the game and that sort of thing. It was really impressive. Again, it's a shame that we didn't have like Marmoush to come on for Haaland because he could have been like a threat in behind as well to ask Arsenal a different question. But yeah, as soon as those changes happened, Arsenal could commit even more bodies forward and Penazin even more so. That was a shame.
Do you think this team's more suited to cup football or league football?
Well, I don't think what we saw yesterday is going to become a norm, so I don't know. We're more likely to win the Champions League than the Premier League because we're probably not the best team in the Premier League, but you don't have to be the best team in a cup competition to win it. So by that standard, I'd say probably a Champions League / FA Cup. So I guess to answer your question, cup. But that's just more to do with the fact that we aren't the favourites in the league. We don't have to be the favourites in a cup competition to win it.
Yeah, you just have to be good
That
for a
makes
one-off
sense.
game. Yeah. No, 100%. It makes sense. Yeah, 100%. You know, the Premier League is about who's the best team over a 38-game period. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, at what point do we kick in? You know what I mean, and start playing like top level football? We spoke about that at the start of the show. You know what I mean? Is it going to be too late by the time we start playing well? Whereas in the Champions League, you don't have to be, like you say, you don't have to be the best team in the competition. You just need to turn up on the day. And we showed yesterday, you know what I mean, that we can turn up on the day and put in a decent performance and defend well. Do you know what I mean? I do feel like, obviously, the first half, you know, we defended well. At the same time, Arsenal didn't really have any attacking threat. I think, obviously, in the second half that changed, but I still think we dealt with it quite well. I thought Shay Given was spot on. I seen Shay Given comments this morning saying that everyone keeps on saying that Arsenal dominated us and all this kind of crap, and he's saying, well, my version of domination is different to everybody else's because my version of domination is shots on target, making the keeper make saves, hitting the woodwork, constant shots. Arsenal didn't really do that. They dominated the ball. It was weird. I remember in the first half, right? I was saying to the chat, I was like, I'm proper scared because Arsenal just dominated the ball. But at the same time, they're not actually doing anything with it. And it's a proper weird feeling because I was like, obviously, we're not used to not having the ball at Manchester City. Usually we dominate possession, right? And yesterday, first half, I think we had 30% possession. And I was sat there watching the game and I was saying to the chat, I was like, I'm proper stressed because Arsenal, it's just wave after wave of attack and they're just dominating the ball, but they're not actually doing anything with the ball.
Yeah.
And what they did do, we handled pretty well. I thought, you know, set pieces and that, we were pretty calm. You know what I mean? Only really one error from Donnarumma with one weak punch. Other than that, we were pretty good. It was I feel like Arsenal weren't really that great. And I push back on anybody that says they dominated us. They dominated possession. That doesn't mean he dominated us.
No, definitely. Like, if you're forcing Donnarumma to make world-class saves and you're forcing Diaz into making world-class blocks and like, you know, like last-ditch stuff, then, and you're bombarding our goal and you've got like an XG of 5 or whatever, then fine. Obviously, you've dominated us. But as you say, if you have a lot of the ball but you don't do anything with it, then what's the threat, really? Again, like, Donnarumma made one great save, would you say, in that first half? I can't remember him making any like great saves in the second half.
What was the great save?
The Madueke one, near post.
I wouldn't say great save, but yeah,
good save. It was a save that needed. Yeah, sure, it was a save that had to be made, though.
Yeah,
that was their highest value chance, I think, in that first half. Can't really remember any in the second half, aside from the goal, obviously, which I say was a little bit of a gift. But apart from that, they weren't really bombarding us or putting us under pressure. Again, there were corners and crosses into the box, sure, but we were dealing with them pretty well overall, as you say. But apart from a couple weird punches, we were dealing with them fine. That's like saying that I don't know, like City dominated Arsenal in that 0-0 at the Etihad when we did nothing for 90 minutes because Arsenal were so good defensively. Like, sure, we had a lot of the ball, but we didn't do anything with it because we couldn't do anything with it. It's the exact same thing. So yeah, definitely, they had a lot of the ball, and that's cute. That's that's nice. Well done. But it's all about what you do with the ball, and they didn't do enough with it to justify domination. So yeah, definitely don't agree.
That hurt, man. So what else you guys are saying in the chat, man? Big up Clark says, looking at the table, it's true that Brighton result was a proper joke. Couldn't afford to lose that one. Yeah, I think that's the one that stings, man. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, that, and we were winning again. Do you know what I mean? And that the problem with the Brighton one was that it felt like watching City last year. Yeah,
yes.
Bozo era for Nunes, capitulation. The Spurs one was just a shit performance, man. But Brighton in the first half, I know some people disagree. I did think we played well against Brighton in the first half. You know what I mean? And people could say we took our chances, but the Brighton game just felt like watching City last year. That's why it was such a downer. And if we win that game, we were in a pretty healthy position. We have an extra 3 points. We're 5 points behind Liverpool. We or whatever. What are we behind Liverpool now?
8.
8, yeah. So we're 5 points behind Liverpool. We were in a good position, man. So that's why it's a bit frustrating. But luckily, it's early days. You know what I mean? It is early days, and we put a couple wins together, and we can back in it, man. It is only September still. Campbell says we needed to win against Brighton. We've learned and changed from Brighton and Spurs. I think. I think this week's been a real sort of positive week, bro. And I agree. I think we are. But it's all good as saying, "Oh, this has been a decent week for us." Yeah. If we don't win our next games in the Premier League, it means jack shit. So we've set ourselves up now where we can hopefully take some confidence from this week into winnable fixtures and go on and put this winning run together. If we don't, then it means nothing. It means nothing. You know what I mean? It means absolutely nothing. This is why this next month, this next 4 weeks for me, it could dictate our Premier League season. It really could. And people will be like, "Oh, you're saying that it's only September, October." Bro, how many points do you think the team can go behind Liverpool before you call it a day? I mean, there were some City fans still saying we could win the league in fucking January last year. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I get the optimism, yeah, I do. I get the positivity, lads. But at some point, it becomes delusion. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't just be delusion. You got to be realistic. Yeah, Liverpool have won 5 out of 5, and they've not even played that well yet. Yeah, so we've got to put this winning run together. And if we can win these next 5 Prem games, yeah, that Liverpool game in November, man, it's on. It'll be on big time. I think it'd be good for the league as well if we win our next 5, because it's like, that Liverpool City game, mate, will be huge. City win, and it's like proper on. City lose, it's curtains. You know what I mean?
It's definitely good for the league. I mean, how many people said before a ball was kicked that Liverpool have won the title, and we haven't even played a match? So absolutely, we can win those games. They are winnable fixtures. I can't remember what they are exactly. One of them's home against Burnley. We should win that. One of them is away against Brentford, but it's not a Thomas Frank Brentford side anymore.
Yeah.
One of them is away against Villa, which would be tricky, but they've been dog shit this season so far.
Everton at home.
I know we didn't win there against them last season at home, but that's a game we should be winning. And also, they're not going to have Jack Grealish either, who's obviously been their best player so far. So that's a big factor. And I can't recall what the other game is. Bournemouth at home, a game that we played really well in last season when we were struggling. I'd expect us to beat Bournemouth at home. It's not easy, but those are, in isolation, winnable games, leading into 2 very tricky games, home against Liverpool and then away against Newcastle. They're going to be massive tests, but there's at least... is there an international break between those games? Like, why is that on the...
Yeah, there is. It's after...
9th and the 22nd. Is there an international break?
Yeah, here, I think.
Oh, well, I meant between Liverpool and Newcastle. Why is there such a big gap?
Oh, yeah, there's 2 international breaks.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, so there's a couple international breaks in between. Of course, there's a League Cup game against Huddersfield, which will be massive. I mean, that starting 11 will be entirely different to the starting 11 against Arsenal. I'd expect 11 changes. We do have a couple of Champions League games. Maybe, we draw against Dortmund. Maybe we draw against Villarreal. But I'd be disappointed if we didn't win those 5 Premier League games leading up to Liverpool. For me, they're winnable fixtures, and there's enough gaps in between to win those games, I think.
Yeah. No, facts, man. So what else you guys saying in the chat, man? Put these international breaks. It's crazy. It's wild. I think someone said they're in talks to scrap the first one. The one
Yeah, I
that's
think I
in
saw they're going to combine 2 into 1 or something. I think I saw
yeah.
that.
Yeah, that
Which is
first one's such
whatever.
shit, man. Like, because you start the season, you get proper into it again. You're like, yes, football's back, Premier League's back. You play 3 games and then bang, international break, and it's like, oh
Yeah.
my god, man. It's
England,
just
Andorra.
yeah, it's just dead in it. So yeah, I think someone said that they're in talks to scrap that first international break, which is good, man. It'll be decent.
Yeah, definitely.
So as you guys are saying, lads. Seeing yesterday makes me realise even Arsenal isn't a hard game if we're firing properly. It's only Liverpool that'll be a hard game, even if we're fully firing, says Clark. Yeah. I mean, you are going to have hard games, isn't it? That's the facts. Mamouche back for Everton, hopefully. Yeah, we could really do with him back, man.
Just on that comment, which I do agree with. I know the City aren't perfect, obviously, but like Arsenal have also shown that they aren't flawless, and they've shown that they have lots of attacking flaws. Liverpool, likewise. I know they've won all their games, but they are still there to be got at. I don't think that it's, again, lots of people are framing this as Liverpool and Arsenal are miles ahead of City. I don't know if I agree with that. I think that they were a lot closer than a lot of people are giving us credit for. Those are my thoughts on that anyway.
I just think it's. I just think it. I don't disagree. I'm really struggling to know what I'm getting from City these days.
Yes, again, there's so many unknowns. I keep
like,
saying
how
this.
Can we put that performance in yesterday at the Emirates against Arsenal, but then put that performance in against Brighton in the second half?
Yeah, again, all I can put it down to is that we are adapting and learning our new out of possession approach. That's all I can really put it down to.
Yeah, and maybe we after the Brighton game, Pep's just changed it all up, because it definitely feels like we're changing it up since the Brighton game. But it's like going into the game yesterday, chat was saying, "Oh, LB score prediction." I was like, I have a fucking clue.
Yeah, I went 0-0 for yesterday.
Yeah, I had no idea what to expect, and that's one of the things with City is like, and I guess that's probably not quite a good thing when you don't, me saying this, I don't know what to expect from the team. That's probably not a good thing, is it? Because that's you're saying that because that's not good. But this last 3 games, I'm starting to learn a bit more about this team. But again, it's early days. It's only 3 matches. If I see us start performing well in these next matches, Monaco for me is going to be a big test. You know what I mean? That's going to be a big game. Go there and see how we perform there. But if we can get some wins on the board, then confidence will come back. Yeah, I'm not a million miles away, from getting like proper confident about the season. But I invested in the Club World Cup. Yeah, thought we played mint against Juve, and then they fucked it up against that Saudi team. Started good against Wolves, then fucked it up against Spurs and Brighton. Played well in these last 3 matches. Yeah, played well yesterday. Put a good shift in. And then I'm just like, am I just going to be waiting for this Burnley game this weekend and they just let me down again? Just like they did in I'm saying, I feel like I'm just waiting for the team just to do something stupid and let us down. So, and I guess that's probably another reason why we need a winning run to get confidence back into the fan base. And because, you hear the players talk about, we need the fans to be positive because, it helps us and shit. And it's like, yeah, I get that. But it's also difficult when you go lose against Al Hilal. Yeah, and then get beat off fucking Spurs again and get beat off Brighton. Like, there's only so much you can be positive before you're just like, oh my God.
It's got to go both ways, hasn't it?
Yeah, of course it is. It's a 2-way street, man. Absolutely. Definitely. So this is for me. I just think this next month, mate, is probably I just think that this next month's probably the biggest month in the Premier League for us. Obviously, not the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup, Champions League, yeah. But in terms of the league, I think this next 4 or 5 weeks for Manchester City is probably the biggest of the season. I'll be real. Because we can't win the league in this next 5, but we can certainly lose it.
Yes, definitely.
I'm saying.
It's still there to be played for.
No, definitely. Let's see what else you guys are saying before we wrap it up, man. Monaco are great. However, we will gift Ansu Fati a brace. Hopefully not wrong. Is that where he is, Ansu Fati? No way.
Yes. He started, I think I saw like a tweet like he scored 3 goals in 70 minutes or something like to start his Monaco career. But didn't Monaco just get battered off Bruges? Who are Bruges? So, I reckon we can win that. We'll lose with this mentality. I'll tell you that right now. Less of that. Let's have some confidence.
Mohammed says, LB, Elise is the only player that would make us instantly win the league. Elise is such a fucking baller, man. We need to get this guy.
He's lovely. Well, he's not going out of Bayern.
We have to put £150 million on the table, man.
At that.
We've got to try and get him.
Get me my right back first, and then we'll have a chat. How about
get them both?
Yeah,
City
that's
Extra
fair.
muddied us. What did City Extra tweet? What have they tweeted? Full time. Oh yeah. Wow.
What?
Bro, this is what I mean. It's really difficult to be fucking positive these days. Man City have now taken 7 points from their opening 5 games, their worst return after 5 league games of a season since Stuart Pearce in 2006, 2007.
It's all right. It's not a problem. We know that we didn't start particularly well. We've spoken about the issue. We can't change our past, but we can change our future.
I'm trying so hard to be
not a problem
positive
for
these
me.
days, man. I promise you, I'm trying so hard to be positive these days, and then we just get shit like that. Oh my god.
I thought it was going to be something actually bad, like, Kasanov's out for months or something. That's fine.
Nah, I don't think. Yeah, I don't think Kasano. I think because he just got stood on, innit? I think the thing is as well, you shouldn't really need Kasanov against Burnley, man. Do you know what I mean? Like with respect, like if we have to leave Kasanov out against Burnley, that shouldn't be a major issue. We should be able to beat Burnley without Hasanov. You know what I mean? Because you can have Diaz Gavardio and play Nunes and attack a little bit more. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely.
And then it's probably, I think we play Brentford the week after, right? It's Burnley Brentford.
Away, yeah.
It's probably better. We need him back for the we need Hasanov back for the Brentford game, if anything. But nah, it's surely not a broken metatarsal when the guy carried on playing football for 30
kept
minutes.
Playing and was fine. I'm hoping it's just an impact thing. We'll see, obviously, but
yeah, nah, facts. All right, and lads, we'll wrap it up there because I've got to go on midday live and cook Don for Robert Sanchez. Big up Chicky Wings says, I think after the break, the break after the Club World Cup fucked us up. You don't rest. Yeah, well, the Club World Cup thing was a bit of a fuckery, man. Do you know what I mean? Because we got knocked out. Then the players rested for 2-3 weeks. Then they come back, had one game, and then we're straight into it. That's why I said, bro, in the lead up to this Arsenal game, I just feel that this Arsenal game come 2 weeks too soon. I just felt like it come 2 weeks too soon, man. I just think our fitness levels needed to be 100% to win against Arsenal, and they weren't. You know,
it's hard. Thing like Pep said that basically the start of the season is our pre-season because we didn't have a proper pre-season. So by that logic, we should now be seeing the actual start of the season, and hopefully this is where we can kick on.
Yeah, no, definitely. And as we've said, there plenty of time on the stream. We now have winnable football matches. Hopefully, City can put a mad winning run together, man, and we can be back into it, man. And if we do, that Liverpool game's going to go off. But big up to everybody, man. Hopefully, you guys have enjoyed the show. It went right. Feels like it's gone really quick today.
That's the power of El Bins.
Yeah. I'm on with Saeed now chat on his channel, man. We'll be speaking about the game yesterday. We'll be speaking about Chelsea and Robert Sanchez. Yeah, the best goalkeeper in the league, apparently. But yeah, of course. Well, he didn't say he's the best, but I've been telling him that Sanchez is a god-awful goalkeeper, one of the worst goalkeepers in the Premier League, and he's been glazing him for months. And I've been getting gaslighted, bro, every single stream, man. You know what I mean? So
that's a common occurrence. Like, people just keep gaslighting me about what I've said about certain players, and it's like, you've got to at least be honest with what I said. I know what I've said. There's video evidence of what I've said. You can't lie. I'll bring up the receipts. You can't lie. I know what I've said. I have the videos. I make videos for a living. I know what I said.
Yeah, man. Sweet. What you got coming up? Are you live today?
Not live today, but I will be doing an Arsenal City analysis video that will be out today, and we will be live tomorrow for that.
I'll be checking that, man. I'll be checking that. Yeah. So that Arsenal review video. Are you going to be telling me that Reinders should have gone to the corner flag?
Yeah, and I'll also be outlining the other 2 errors that happened in that as well.
Yeah, just quickly, do you think that Donnarumma should get more criticism for the goal? I don't. I think sometimes in football you've got to go fair fucks. That was just a pretty good goal. I think the only mistakes for that goal, for me personally, is the lead up to the goal. I think as soon as Eze gets the ball in that position with no pressure on the ball, we're playing a high line and we let Martinelli run in behind. I think it's curtains.
No, I massively disagree. What's the goalkeeper offering in his position?
I just think the ball is inch perfect.
No, but what's Donnarumma offering?
I think he's trying to come and get the ball.
But he's not. He's not moving forwards. He's stood still.
No, I think at first he is. That's why he's in that position in the first place. But then he realizes,
which was a wrong decision.
Yeah, but but the point I'm making is sometimes the ball. I think the ball is just inch perfect. So he thinks he can come and get it, but because the ball is inch perfect, it just fucks him up.
If he thought he could come get it, he'd have moved forwards, but he doesn't.
Because he realizes by the times he's moved forward that he's fucked.
So it's an error.
I don't know, man.
it's a great position, but if you are a goalkeeper in no man's land, you have inherently made a positioning error.
Yeah.
Because
You
can see the ball is coming in from Eze.
Yeah.
And it is a mistake by Reinders, Nico, Savio to not go out wide. It is a mistake by Ake to not block off Martinelli's run. However, Gvardiol deals with Martinelli. The ball's bouncing. He doesn't have it under control. Gvardiol's pinning him. Gvardiol is forcing him out wide. There is no world in which Martinelli can score from the position he is in unless the goalkeeper is in the wrong position. And sadly, Donnarumma doesn't back up. He doesn't retreat to his line as he should have done. And that allows Martinelli to chip him. It's a shame. And that's not the same as saying he had a bad game, because he had a good game shot stopping wise. And I thought he had a really good game from corners overall. But ultimately, he has to take the majority of the blame for that goal. And that's not to absolve Ake of any blame or Reinders of
What, the
any
majority?
blame.
You think he has the majority of the blame?
Well, yeah, because...
I don't think so. I think Reinders may.
Well, no, because you don't concede a goal just because you give it away in the opposition's defensive third. It's still in your control, isn't it? And I'd blame Ake more than I'd blame Reinders. But even then, Gvardiol solves it. Gvardiol bails Ake out because Gvardiol pins him and is forcing him out wide. The ball is bouncing. It's not under his control.
I guess I'm going to Reinders because he's the one that started it off.
Sure, and that's fine. But again, not every single time you misplace a pass, that doesn't result in a goal. I agree that is an error, but City still have it well within their control. They're still set up fine. It's not a problem. You can blame Highline if you want. I think that's a red herring. Again, Gvardiol deals with the threat. It's put out. So even if you want to say it's a mistake by Reinders and Ake, which it is, Gvardiol's dealt with the threat. He's done very well there. It's not a problem. But what is a problem is the fact that the goalkeeper is offering no value in his positioning, because he's not pushing up to prevent Martinelli from shooting, nor is he off his line so that Martinelli can't do anything. He's literally in between, and it's just an error. That's all it is. And that's not a problem, because this is going to happen, because it's the thing with goalkeepers. They make errors. It's fine. It's not inherently a problem. He will save us sometimes. Sometimes he will make a silly error. It's fine, but we do have to be honest and being childish and saying that this isn't you, but being childish and saying that I'm lying or that I'm not being honest or I'm being disingenuous or I have an agenda because I'm not telling a lie is a bit silly.
Yeah. No. Donnarumma was definitely not in a good position, man. I like to go to why did that start in the first place? I guess it depends on how you do it.
And I totally agree. But if we want to apportion blame, I don't know. I'd give the majority to Donnarumma, a bit less to Ake, and less still to Reinders. I don't know what the exact proportions would be. I don't know, 60, 30, 10 or something. I don't know. I don't care how you apportion blame. But there's no doubt there were 3 mistakes. But ultimately, there's only one mistake there that ultimately creates the goal, because before that point, City are dealing with it. Gvardiol deals with Ake's mistake. That's not a problem for me. And by definition, Gvardiol deals with Reinders' mistake because Gvardiol's so good. But he can't cope with his goalkeeper not being in the right position.
Yeah, Habib says it has to be Savio with 60% of the blame.
That's mad.
He's probably the one that's lowest on the list.
That's what I mean. Yeah, again, I'm sorry, you need to go, don't you? The players should go in the corner. Yes, they should. But City still are in a decent position. They can still deal with it. Ake should block Martinelli off, but Gvardiol deals with it, so that flame is put out. But the flame that isn't put out is the positioning of the goalkeeper, and that's ultimately why we concede. And that's just a reality that we just have to accept.
Okay. Cool, man. All right, sweet. Big up to everybody, man. Let me know your thoughts, and if you're watching back on replay, give us your thoughts on that, man, what you're saying. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel as well if you're new. Make sure you guys are checking out Nobbins' channel. Link is in the title of the video. Arsenal review video later on. Tactical analysis. Yeah, we will be there. We will be watching that one. I'm on with Saeed now. Yeah, and then I'll be back later on with Hugh and Amos. Yeah, 9 p.m, which should be a really, really good show, man, because I think Amos and Hugh having a bit of a disagreement last night. So yeah, we'll see what they're saying, man. So yeah, make sure you come back at 9 p.m. It's going to be a banger. Have a great day. We'll see you next time. Bye bye.